Welcome back, beautiful souls. There's a reason you found this video today. Not by chance, not by coincidence, but by divine guidance. I want you to take a deep breath with me. Inhales and exhales. Find a quiet space within yourself, because today's message is profoundly personal. It's about connection, divine timing, and a sacred union that may be unfolding in your life right now. Today we're exploring something that touches the deepest chambers of the heart, divine guidance in love and partnership. The angels have a message for those who have been praying, seeking, and waiting for clarity about a specific person in their life. Before we begin, remember that true discernment comes from within. While I share this divine message, only you can recognize its truth in your heart. That inner knowing, that gentle whisper that resonates with your soul, is how God and your angels communicate most powerfully with you. This moment right now isn't random. You're here because there's something you need to hear. You've been searching, haven't you? Asking questions in the quiet moments before sleep. Looking for signs in everyday life. Wondering if this person who keeps entering your thoughts is truly meant for you. The angels want you to know something important. This connection you feel isn't ordinary. It's not just chemistry or compatibility or convenience. It's divine. It's purposeful. It's part of a greater plan for your life journey. You see, when God brings someone into your life with this specific divine intention, it's different. There's a depth to it that transcends normal relationships. There's a resonance that feels like coming home. Like finding a piece of yourself you didn't know was missing. Many of you watching have felt this. That inexplicable knowing when you're with this person. That sense of recognition that goes beyond physical attraction or shared interests. It's as if your souls recognize each other from before this lifetime began. The angels say that God has been preparing both of you for this union long before you ever met. Every experience, every heartbreak, every joy, every lesson learned, they've all been shaping you, refining you, preparing you for each other. Nothing has been wasted. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of growth has been leading to this divine appointment. But here's where many of us struggle. We feel this connection, we sense this divine orchestration, but then doubt creeps in. Is this real, we ask ourselves? Am I just imagining it? Am I seeing what I want to see? This doubt is natural, but it's also the greatest obstacle to receiving the blessing that's being offered. The angels want you to understand something fundamental about divine love. It doesn't always make logical sense. It doesn't always follow the timeline or the pattern that society has conditioned us to expect. Divine unions often challenge our preconceptions and push us beyond our comfort zones. They're not just about personal happiness, though that comes abundantly. They're about purpose. They're about growth. They're about creating something together that serves a higher calling. When God calls two people together in this sacred way, it's because together they will accomplish something extraordinary. Something neither could achieve alone. Your combined light will shine brighter. Your combined purpose will reach further. Your combined love will heal more deeply, not just for yourself, but for everyone your lives touch. Many of you can feel this potential. You can sense that with this person, you're more than you are alone. You complement each other. Where you're weak, they're strong. Where they struggle, you thrive. It's not perfect, no union is, but there's a divine symmetry to it. A sacred balance. The angels are saying that this connection isn't just about romantic fulfillment. It's about spiritual alignment. This person has been chosen to walk beside you on your soul journey. To challenge you. To support you. To help you become who you're truly meant to be. Think about it for a moment. How do you feel when you're with this person? Not just the excitement or attraction, but deeper than that. Do you feel more authentic? More seen? More understood? Do you feel like you can be fully yourself without pretense or performance? These are signs of divine connection. Does this person draw you closer to your highest self? Do they inspire you to be better, to grow, to heal old wounds? Do they challenge you in ways that, while sometimes uncomfortable, lead to meaningful growth? Another sign that God's hand is in this union. The angels want you to know that God sees what you cannot. While you might focus on the present moment, the uncertainties, the obstacles, The practical concerns God sees the full tapestry of your lives intertwined. He sees the beauty that will unfold over years and decades. He sees the ministry you'll share, the lives you'll touch, the love you'll cultivate that will bear fruit for generations. This divine perspective transcends our limited human view. We see the next few steps, God sees the entire journey. We see the current season, God sees all seasons. We see the immediate challenges, God sees the ultimate victory. This is why trust is so essential. Trust not in your own understanding, but in divine wisdom that surpasses human comprehension. Now let's address something important. Some of you have been waiting, haven't you? Waiting for absolute certainty before taking a step forward. Waiting for every doubt to be resolved, every question to be answered. The angels want you to understand that this kind of perfect clarity rarely precedes action. More often, clarity comes through action. Through stepping forward in faith. Through choosing trust over fear. Divine guidance doesn't typically eliminate the need for faith. Rather, it provides just enough light for the next step. Enough confirmation to move forward courageously, even when the full path isn't visible yet. This is why the angels are emphasizing the importance of timing. There's an urgency in their message that shouldn't be ignored. Not because God's blessings expire, but because there are divine windows of opportunity that, when recognized and acted upon, can lead to the fullest expression of what's possible for your union. The message mentions March 31st as a significant date, a turning point. While specific dates may vary in their significance for each person watching, the principle remains: divine timing is real, and being attentive to it matters. Sometimes the perfect moment to move forward isn't when you feel completely ready, but when the divine orchestration has aligned circumstances optimally. Many great blessings have been delayed or diminished because fear prevented action during these divine windows. The angels don't want this to happen to you. They don't want fear to rob you of what God has lovingly prepared. Let's talk about this fear for a moment, because it's the primary obstacle most of us face. It shows up in many forms, as doubt, what if I'm wrong about this? As self-protection, what if I get hurt? As perfectionism, I need to be more prepared before taking this step, or as past trauma, I've been hurt before and can't risk that pain again. The angels want you to know that these fears, while natural, are not from God. God's voice brings peace, not anxiety. Clarity, not confusions. Confidence, not crippling doubts. When you feel overwhelmed by fear, that's not divine guidance, it's human apprehension. And while those feelings are valid and understandable, they shouldn't be the determining factor in your decision. Instead, the angels encourage you to quiet these fears through prayer, through meditation, through connecting with your inner wisdom. Ask for confirmation if you need it, but be open to how that confirmation might come. Sometimes it's not a dramatic sign, but a quiet knowing. A steady peace that persists beyond the fluctuations of emotion. For some of you, the confirmation you're seeking has already been given multiple times, but you haven't recognized it or trusted it. The angels are asking you to reflect on the signs you've already received. The coincidences that seem too perfect to be random. The dreams that feel significant. The words that came at just the right moment. The patterns that keep appearing. God speaks in these ways when we have eyes to see and ears to hear. Now, it's important to understand that this divine calling into union isn't about perfection. It's not about finding someone without flaws or someone who will never disappoint you. Human relationships, even divinely orchestrated ones, involve two imperfect people growing together. There will be challenges. There will be disagreements. There will be seasons of difficulty. But here's the difference in a divinely guided union. These challenges become opportunities for deeper connection rather than reasons for disconnection. They become catalysts for growth rather than causes for resentment. When God is at the center of your relationship, every difficulty becomes an invitation to lean more fully into divine wisdom, to practice forgiveness, to choose love beyond feeling, to demonstrate grace. The angels want you to know that God doesn't just bring you together and then leave you to figure it out on your own. The same divine guidance that leads you to each other will continue to guide your union if you remain open to it. The same God who orchestrated your meeting will provide wisdom for your growing. The same angels who delivered this message will continue to support your journey together. This is why spiritual alignment is so crucial in this divine partnership. When both of you are committed to following divine guidance, to growing spiritually, to serving a purpose beyond yourselves, your relationship becomes unshakable. Not because you never face storms, but because your foundation is secure. You're built on rock, not sand. For those of you who are already in this relationship but have been hesitating to move forward to deeper commitment, the angels are speaking directly to you. That hesitation, if it's based in fear rather than genuine red flags, may be keeping you from the very blessing you've been praying for. God has brought you this far. Do you trust Him to lead you the rest of the way? Some of you might be thinking, but how do I know for sure? How do I distinguish between my own desires and divine guidance? This is a wise question. Discernment is essential. Here are some ways the angels suggest you can discern divine guidance about this relationship. First, true divine guidance brings peace, even amid uncertainty. If when you think about moving forward with this person, beneath any normal nervousness, there's a steady current of peace that's significant. That peace that surpasses understanding is often God's confirmation. Second, divine unions tend to make you more of who you truly are, not less. Does this relationship bring out your best qualities? Does it challenge you to grow in healthy ways? Does it feel like coming home to yourself rather than having to become someone else? These are powerful indicators. Third, divine guidance often comes through multiple channels, not just one. It's not just a feeling, but also circumstances aligning, wise counsel affirming, and spiritual confirmation through prayer or meditation. Look for this convergence of confirmation. Fourth, divine guidance aligns with divine principles. A relationship that God is orchestrating will not contradict the values of love, respect, honesty, growth, and purpose that are fundamental to spiritual wisdom. If the relationship exhibits these qualities, that's significant evidence of divine blessing. Finally, there's often a sense of rightness that transcends logic. Not ignoring red flags or wisdom, but a deep knowing that goes beyond pros and cons lists. A recognition at the soul level that this connection matters. The angels want you to take time to reflect on these aspects of your relationship. Not with anxiety or pressure, but with open-hearted honesty. Because this union isn't just about fulfilling your desires, though God cares deeply about your happiness. It's about aligning with divine purpose. It's about creating something beautiful together that serves a higher calling. Now, for some of you, there's another obstacle. You feel unworthy of this blessing. Perhaps because of past mistakes, or because you haven't achieved certain goals, or because you're still working through personal challenges. The angels want you to hear this clearly. Worthiness is not the qualification for receiving this blessing. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. He doesn't wait until you're perfect to bring divine connection into your life. In fact, often this divine partnership is part of your healing journey, part of your growths, part of your becomings. You don't have to be fully healed to be divinely loved. You don't have to have everything figured out to be divinely guided. You simply need to be open to receiving, open to growing, open to trusting the process even when it doesn't match your expectations. Remember that God sees you with eyes of love, not judgment. He sees your potential, not just your past. He sees who you're becoming, not just who you've been. And He's orchestrating connections that align with that divine perspective, connections that will help you become all that you're meant to be. The angels also want to address those of you who have been praying specifically for confirmation about marriage. This level of commitment is significant, and it's natural to approach it with careful consideration. But for many of you, the confirmation you seek has already been given. The question isn't whether God has confirmed, but whether you've been willing to receive that confirmation. Marriage in its highest form is more than a legal arrangement or social convention. It's a sacred covenant, a spiritual partnership, the commitment to grow together, to serve together, to create something beautiful together that honors divine love. When approached with this understanding, marriage becomes a spiritual practice, a daily choice to love like God loves, to forgive like God forgives, to serve with the heart of God. This is why the angels emphasize that this union is about more than personal happiness. It's about purpose. It's about creating a relationship that reflects divine love to the world. That demonstrates possibility. that offers hope to others. Your marriage, when aligned with divine purpose, becomes ministry. It becomes a witness. It becomes a living testimony of God's faithfulness. Some of you might be wondering about practical timing. When should we take this step? The angels emphasize that while God's timing is perfect, it also requires your participation, your willingness to move when guided, your courage to step forward when the path opens. For many of you, that time is now. Not next month, not next year, but now. There's a divine momentum that's building, a convergence of spiritual energies that makes this moment particularly significant. The specific date of March 31st mentioned in the message may have personal significance for some of you: a deadline, a birthday, an anniversary, or simply a marker in time that the angels are using to emphasize urgency. But beyond any specific date, the principle remains: divine windows of opportunity matter. Being responsive to spiritual guidance about timing matters. Sometimes the difference between a good experience and a transformative one is simply timing, taking action during these divinely orchestrated moments when circumstances, hearts, and spiritual forces are optimally aligned. Now, the angels want to speak directly to those of you who have been feeling confused. Perhaps there are multiple relationships in your life, and you're uncertain which one has this divine signature. Or perhaps there are aspects of this relationship that don't seem to fit your expectations of what a divine union should look like. The angels remind you that divine guidance brings clarity, not confusion. If you're feeling genuinely confused, take that as an invitation to pause, to pray, to reconnect with your inner wisdom. Ask specifically for clarity, and then create the quiet space to receive it. Often our confusion stems not from lack of guidance, but from too much noise, too many opinions, too many fears, too many competing voices. When you quiet these external influences and connect with your deepest knowing, clarity often emerges naturally. You recognize what you've known all along. You see with eyes unclouded by fear or expectation. You hear the still, small voice that has been speaking all along. For others, the obstacle isn't confusion but complication. Perhaps there are practical barriers to moving forward: distance, family situations, career considerations. The angels want you to know that God is aware of every detail. Nothing has caught him by surprise. These complications are not necessarily signs to stop, but invitations to trust more deeply, to get creative, to rely on divine wisdom rather than limited human understanding. Remember that God's plans often don't follow conventional wisdom or expected pathways. Divine guidance sometimes leads us on unexpected journeys, not to confuse us, but to grow us. Not to frustrate us, but to strengthen our faith. Not to delay blessing, but to deepen it. If you're facing what seems like impossible circumstances, remember that with God, all things are possible. The same divine power that brought you together can make a way where there seems to be no way. The same God who placed this love in your hearts can provide solutions beyond your imagination. The same angels who delivered this message can work behind the scenes, orchestrating circumstances in ways you couldn't orchestrate yourself. The key is to remain in faith, not fear. To keep your focus on divine possibility rather than human limitation. To trust the process even when you can't see the full picture. This doesn't mean ignoring practical realities, but rather approaching them with faith-filled creativity rather than defeat or doubt. Now, for some of you, there's another kind of obstacle. You recognize this divine connection, you feel ready to move forward, but the other person seems hesitant or unaware. This can be particularly challenging, feeling certain about something so significant, while the other person isn't at the same place in their understanding. The angels want to encourage you in this situation. First, remember that divine timing often involves two journeys converging, and these journeys don't always move at the same pace. Your recognition of this divine connection may have come earlier, but that doesn't invalidate it. It simply means you may need to practice patience as the other person catches up to what you already see. Second, understand that your role isn't to convince or pressure, but to create space for divine revelation. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step back and allow God to work directly with the other person's heart. Your attempts to convince might actually create resistance, while your patience and prayer create openness. Finally, use this time of waiting to focus on your own growth. Continue becoming the person you're called to be. Continue developing the qualities that will make you a blessing in this divine partnership. Continue preparing your heart, your mind, your spirit for this sacred union. This season of preparation is not wasted time, it's essential groundwork for what's to come. The angels also want to speak to those